Welcome to day three, everyone. Today is called Simplify Life Down to a Choice. And this is my own teaching, and it's a teaching that changed my life. It's a teaching that I live by day, and a teaching that can be understood by every single person at any given time. It's so simple. So let me tell you where this teaching, first of all, arrived from. And it comes back to meditation. You're going to hear me so often speak about meditation to the point where you will know, okay, that is the truth. So, my goal for the last few years, ever since I left the fitness industry, was to get on stage, and it's to inspire people with a motivational talk. And my main goal was to go to the Royal Albert Hall in London and to speak there. It was just a dream of mine, and I saw a talk from a guy called Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now and New Earth. Definitely worth the recommended reads there. And I saw him speak, and I remember the way that he was speaking. It was so soft, and everyone around me was falling asleep. It was like a guided meditation before you go to bed, and everyone was closing their eyes. And I said, when I do a talk, I want people to feel the energy. And to be able to deliver a guided meditation my own unique way in a place like that. And that's kind of been my driving force ever since. So that will happen. And I would love to be able to go around the world sharing a message of truth with love, connecting with many of you in every sort of venue, and to be able to connect the world through energy, through joy, through experience. So I have to start working on my motivational talks. So I set myself an intention before a meditation. And I said, if I had a TED talk, what would it be? And within the meditation, it come to me so quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all after the other, all in the order. And this is my teachings. So after the fitness industry, which I had 2 gyms in London for 12 years, I then started getting into coaching. And then when COVID hit, my gyms took an absolute battering. And my passion was more towards the coaching, like seeing clients get that insight within a conversation. A little adjustment, and you could notice the changes that take place in their life. And it was the feedback, the smile, the influence it had on their loved ones, and the healing that took place. And what happened after that, I then connected with someone and started then working with people with terminal illnesses, predominantly cancer. And I was working with people that are told they were going to die. And this was a new area for me. I had a fascination with cancer. I did a lot of research over the years on that due to clients, and just also my fascination with healing and miracles take place. And now I'm in a position where I'm actually talking about death to people. And I was working more with the loved ones. So it'd be like the worried daughter, the mum, and they were desperate for change in their loved ones because they knew it, that the label that they were given, you were going to die, was a myth. They knew that they had the fight and the will to live, and now they just needed the guidance. So I learned a lot. So all my teachings, all my life lessons, I can accredit a lot of those to this period, because what I witnessed was truth, ultimate truth. What I witnessed was miracles, and what I also witnessed, it was so simple. And I was a life coach. That was the label. But quite quickly, I realized it was the soul that I was speaking to. And over the course of a year, it evolved into I'm a soul coach through these conversations. And when you've been given that label, something has to change. When you're given that label of death, then fear can creep in. Not just the personal, from everyone around you. And it's dealing with fear on a day-to-day basis, which is the worst thing when it comes to healing. And we used to have discussions about, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I make these choices? And it's so simple. And what also highlighted was when we look at the real importance of life, it is simple. And I encourage the people to go onto Google and type in life lessons from the elderly, life lessons from people on their deathbeds. And you get one word answers. You get short phrases, just magical advice. And it is be with your loved ones. Enjoy each moment. Do the things that you love. Say no. Be confident in yourself. Be confident in your choices. Travel. Let go. And it then inspired me. So in this meditation, it come out and it was called Simplify Life Down to a Choice. So if I was to leave my wisdom to the rest of the world, that would be it. Simplify your life down to a choice. And it's a choice in every moment that you get to make. And because it is a choice, a simple one, you can make it without even thinking about it. Thinking is from the mind, and it's the mind we want out of the way. When you know, it's a feeling inside you. The soul knows, and the feeling inside you, the spirit inside you, is the knowing. So you go with the feeling. So simplify life down to a choice. And I've broken this down into a few segments, and I'm going to add a tiny bit more today, just to show you that we can also adapt this to many other areas of our life. So a spiritual being having a human experience, we've gone through that now. Spiritual being is your soul. The human experience is the mind and body. So the soul is the truth. So we start at the spirit. So there's three things there, three-part being. Let's simplify it even more to two. If your soul is the truth, the spirit, the body and mind, the mind and body, that's one. So it's either, I'm going to say your mind or your soul. So in life, we can simplify everything down to a choice. Ego or soul. Ego is the mind, always is the mind. And if we look at God as all, and God had a child, the Son of God. And the Son of God also had a twin brother, the ego. So ego, when the mind gets in the way, we break down ego, edging God out. So as soon as the mind gets in the way, it means we're not in our God space. We're moving away from the truth. We're moving away from love. And it's so simple when we look at it like that. So the opposite of the ego is the soul. So a question to ask is this my ego? Is this my mind? And we're going to come on to the breakdown of that. So we simplified the life down to a choice. It's your truth, your soul, and anything that's not your soul, we're going to say mind. The body is just attached to the mind. And we will go and explore the relationship between those three. It's like we have to break it down first and then build it back up again. It's like when you're looking at a car, you take all the pieces out, you look how it all connects together, and you put it together. This is the same as the spiritual journey. So, if we then have the truth as soul, and if we just look at the body just for a sec, the soul is inside the body, which is your feelings. So it's the mind always, which I call the middleman. It's the mediator. It's the one that makes the choice. It balances things out. And the choice is simple. Go straight to the body. Notice. So if we look at your soul first, we'll start with the truth. And if we was to describe your soul as a feeling, what's the ultimate feeling? Love. Your soul is love. What is love? If we broke that down, it's peace, it's calmness, it's joy, it's happiness. We can even take it up. It's euphoria. It's bliss. It's magic. That's your soul. So anything that's not your soul is the opposite. What's the opposite of love? Fear. And if we look at fear as an overall, under fear comes so many other things in life. Triggers, anger, hate, rage, anxiety, depression, worry, blame, guilt. So just think the opposite of love as a feeling is fear. So imagine that inside the body. If we could simplify life down to a choice right now in this moment, as a feeling, I ask you, love or fear in this moment? And then you can start seeing love is so simple. If I'm calm, is that fear? So you're in the love space. It's so easy to enter and know that you're here. So that's the starting point. So it's always ego and soul, but underneath that, let's go to feelings. So I said yesterday, thoughts, words, and actions. So if we change the words to feelings, because it's from the body, the thoughts are from the mind, and the action is the soul. So if we just focus on thoughts and feelings, thoughts is the mind, feelings is the body. So go straight to the truth, the feelings inside the body, and it's one or the other. So simplify life down to choice, ego or soul, and underneath that, love or fear. So everything we do now, the first thing we do is go to that gut feeling. If it is just an emptiness, if it's easy, at ease, if it's comfortable, it's right. And sometimes we doubt our feelings. No, that's too simple. It can't be that. That's not what other people said this experience would be like. Yeah, it feels right. And that's the bit we have to stay on the truth and to trust in our feelings. So the opposite then is fear, and it's that trigger, it's that anger. It's when we feel these experiences, we then have to catch ourselves. That's the ego. What's the opposite? I've reacted to this emotion from this feeling. What does that mean? The feeling of uncomfort automatically will mean you're in the mind. It means you're holding on to something, worrying about something. It's attachments. And mind then also will be the opinions and beliefs of others. It's outside of ourselves. And it's sometimes when they say words hurt. And it does when it's from a loved one, because you feel what they say. The way it's delivered, it's like, that's not a truth. And because it's not a truth, it's a discomfort. Discomfort is a distortion. Distortion is dis-ease. So think about it from just that point. When we're in love space, it feels right, it's at ease. If it's the opposite, fear, it's dis-ease. So internally, your body is noticing the difference. So if we look at healing now, it's the soul. It's love. It's easy. So that's the first, is our feelings. Our feelings are the truth, the feelings inside the body. So when we ask the question in mind, you go straight to the body. So if we go back to the soul, mind, body, if we then look at it and turn it into the soul knows, the I know, the feeling in the body is a knowing. And when the mind goes and explores the body, if it's not that feeling of a knowing, you say no, no more. And if it is a knowing, it just is. You let it be. You enjoy the moment. And your mind doesn't need to go anywhere else. Simplify life down to choice. So then let's go on to the words. Words, as you've noticed already, I'm so big on. Words with awareness changes the world. It changes our life. And again, underneath ego or soul, the words that we speak, the words that we write, is either a negative or a positive. Positive words is present going forward. Negative words is past, bringing it into the present moment. When we speak about our past, we're in the mind, it's time. When we speak about our past with negative words, the feeling in this moment then reacts to those words. So to speak something, we have to think it first. So you can see where the mind gets in the way there. So if we bring more awareness to the words that we write and choose to speak, there's always an opposite. There's always an alternative. And words, because it's something that we do daily, it's something that we've done pretty much our whole entire life. There's a lot of things that we say that are so unconscious and automatic. It's accepted now, and the body's remembered it so much. So when we start bringing attention and awareness to our words, you will catch yourself so often. And I shared it before, you will initially get challenged. The ego gets caught out. Sometimes you get frustrated. It's like, what is the right word to say? But when you can keep bringing awareness to that, you start becoming a lot more aware of vocabulary. And because you are expressing how you feel by communicating that through words, you become a lot more selective. And by doing that, when we then start sharing our story of the past, knowing negative is only going to bring us into that state from the energy inside the body, we then can turn every negative word into a positive. So if we look at something that we'd call a problem and it was the worst moment, we can change that problem and it was a challenge. That was a test in time. This is a moment in my life where I was at my lowest and I worked through it. I learned so many lessons. So you get to rewrite, reword, rephrase your story because you're now aware. A lot of times when we tell our story, we are unconscious. It's on repeat because it's happened. That's what it was. So I encourage people, try to bring awareness to the way we tell our stories. So just a little observation, and I'm going to ask people, which is easy to feel the difference. So if you just close your eyes for me now, and I'm going to get you just to pay attention to the words that I speak. We're going to use the opposites. And I want you to notice the difference of a feeling, how it feels. So closing your eyes, never forget. Don't stop. Can't wait to see you. And then we use the opposite. Always remember. Keep going. Excited to see you. So never forget. Don't stop. Can't wait. Always remember. Keep going. I am excited to see you. Can you feel it? So I'm going to ask you to keep your eyes closed for me. And I'm going to show you real power of words. And the right words spoken at the right time with love is felt instantly. Change you, change them, change the world. So keeping your eyes closed, I want you now to imagine a loved one. Someone that you love with all your heart. And I want you to imagine them smiling, laughing, an overwhelming amount of joy. Notice that feeling. So my words influence feelings. You receive these words and they're felt inside your body. So it is all about the wording. Word in. And I promise you, everyone, this has changed my life. And if you watch me speak, I'm always in flow. I rarely stutter. And I'm always positive with my words. I'd say if I went back for the last 3 years and we did a percentage of words in a relation to negative versus positive in every part of my life, I would confidently say that I speak at least 93% of positivity. So my theory is if I only choose to speak positive words, I can only be a positive person. Do I experience sadness? Do I get triggered? Do I get wound up? Do I get frustrated? Yes, of course. They're the thoughts. That's something that's taken place in my life and I let it get to me. The way I explain it the way I write it down, I can speak my truth. So if we want to share something that is negative, I encourage in the same sentence, change that negative with a solution on top. So I felt like this, and this is what I did next. You replace it. So it's almost in that sentence, it gives you freedom to describe your past, add the way you felt, and then you came up with a solution, what changed. And it leaves you empowered always. So we've got ego, soul, fear, love, negative, positive. And then we've got grow and protect. And this all comes from a teaching by Bruce Lipton. And I did a epigenetics course during COVID, and it was looking at the relationships between cells and the way that our environment influences our body. The external world, the environment that we choose to put ourselves in, and also our inner body, like our own thoughts, our mindset. The environments change everything. And what he showed was the power of the difference between being in a protective state, which you call negative, which you call fear, all under the same bracket as ego, what it does to your body. When you're in the fear state, it's disease. And when we keep playing out these same things and keep holding on to these same thoughts and keep going into these same environments and being around the same people, in the end, the body is just adjusting to the disruption. And that's where disease does then form. So he showed experiments that he did with cells, and the cells of the body are like the souls of the world. The cell of the body is the equivalent to a cell phone. Everything about your life, everything about you is in that one cell. To do tests on humans, all you need is a petri dish and pull out one cell, and you can work out everything from that. It's magic. So if they put that cell in a petri dish, he said the cell has two responsibilities and two functions only: grow and protect. Can't be at the same time. Grow or protect. And he said, if I put some food in the petri dish with the cell, by the end of the day, that cell moves on its own towards the food. Grow. If I put poison in that petri dish, by the end of the day, that cell has moved away from the poison. It knows. In every cell has everything about you. In every cell in your body has something that operates on its own. God. God in every cell. And it's a replication. And our cells regenerate all the time. The magic of the body. Over 50 trillion cells in our body. And each one is unique, that has everything about you in there. So grow or protect. When we are in a fear state, when we're in that protective state, that fight or flight, he showed how the blood works inside the body. So we have all our vital organs, and blood is oxygen, it's hydration, it's nutrition, nourishment. Our vital organs are important to get all that. And this is all in our center. So we talk about the spine, we talk about the chakras, the energy points. A lot of our vital organs operate optimally here. But when we're in a fight or flight state and we go into fear, imagine we had to run from a tiger. It shows you that the blood will naturally just disperse straight away to the limbs, the arms and legs, as if you were to run. The body inherently knows that, right? Be alert, pay attention, get ready, on the spot. And what happens is when you're in that fear state, the blood goes to the limbs. You can start noticing the physical changes because the blood is now leaving the vital organs, which is for our optimal health. And then we start seeing the deterioration inside the body. So then he shows an experiment with birds, and using this same concept of fight or flight, or rest and digest, they call it. It's your parasympathetic versus your sympathetic. So they showed the study on birds to show you that even in nature, we can replicate this to show you the difference. So two female birds, both pregnant, in two completely different environments. One environment was fight or flight. There's predators around. It was survival. Do all it can to feed and be in a safe place to make sure you have this baby. Then there was another bird which was pretty much in the Mecca for birds, free as a bird. So when they had the babies, remember the DNA 99% match. They looked exactly the same on paper, but the birds actually looked different physically. And they showed that the one bird come out with bigger arms. And if you then go back to where the blood goes, in fear, it goes to the limbs. It even does that on a newborn bird before it's come out. So the environment matters even before we've come into this world, because it's energy. So think about new mums and the stress and the fear that comes with having a baby, which ultimately is like the most amazing experience, bringing new life into this world, God's creation. But there's a lot of fear with that will influence the growth of the body of the little baby. So by being in a right environment, so if we play around to even our safe space that we choose to do the learning, some space to create for ourselves, to get away from the outside world. And then if we look at the outside world that we go into, are we choosing to be environments that do not serve us anymore? Do we feel uncomfortable from being in there? Your gut feelings telling you. So you can start seeing the difference of how it influences nature, but more so the inner body. So if we go back to ego or soul, soul is healing, love is healing, positivity is healing, grow is healing. So our actions, protect or grow, are we holding ourselves back? Are we stopping ourselves from speaking? Are we resisting change because there's a fear aspect to it? Or are we choosing the opposite? Grow. Grow is flow, doing things that we love, choosing to do things that bring us joy, doing things that put us in that moment where time, mind disappears. So we've got grow or protect, we've got love or fear, we've got negative or positive. So then we're going to just add in two more. So if we look at truth, truth is your soul. To speak truth is from your spirit. It's love. What's the opposite of truth? A lie. So in the will at the first day, to be honest, to be true to your world, to be true to yourself. So in each moment, if we tell a little lie, just know that's fear, that's negative, that's disruption for the body. It all comes under the same umbrella, and it just stops all the complication. So to be true to yourself, true is the soul. And then we can bring it down to another level, which is just a nice thing to bring awareness to. Unconscious and conscious. To make conscious choices, it means we make the choice in that moment. And if we then look at the choice from the mind is based on the feeling of the body, we then go with our soul, we go with the truth. So if we say conscious is the soul, it means unconscious is the mind. It's automatic. We're not thinking. And sometimes that automation, because it's a built up pattern, it's being remembered, it's not serving us. And because we're not aware of it, again, it plays havoc inside our body. It impacts our day because of the energy. Energy is as real as it gets. So simplify life down to a choice. And if we then just look at the soul, the spirit, we can then look at a verse from John 4:24. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship in the spirit and in truth. So if we then say, simplify life down to a choice, soul or ego, soul is also God. Soul is also spirit, the Holy Spirit, Christ, God, creator, source. Soul, you, self, son of God. So just know, people, when we break it down to that most simplicity, the simplicity of life is the choice, love, soul, positivity, growth, flow. Can you see it's so simple? So I'm going to ask you now to go through your day and break it down into these things when we're speaking to other people. Notice the feelings. Notice the words. Notice the sensations of holding back, or actually going with the flow, going with that momentum, feeling the difference. And I promise you, you'll start making choices so quickly. And you could even then ask a powerful question, which is one of my favorite questions. What would love do in this moment? What would my soul do in this moment? What would Christ do in this moment? What would God do in this moment? You'll get your answer straight away, because the feeling will ring true. It will feel light. So that is a powerful teaching, and it's one that has changed my life, and I know it will change your life if you put it into practice. And again, it's something we get to work on. And if the mind does get in the way, find the truth. Go to the body, ask your spirit. So everyone, I hope that helps, and let me know what does come up for you. I really appreciate the shares, and I really do encourage you, keep on sharing, because you will get challenged by me. But that is the only way we change. Bring awareness to your words, and now you're aware of the power of the words and the relationship that it will have within the body. See if you can catch yourself when you are writing descriptions, when you are sharing your experiences, and even add that to it. I've even noticed that I have changed that. I was in a conversation, I was said to someone, always remember. And I'm just putting a bit of energy, a bit of positivity into that, and it is felt. So thank you so much, everyone. And that's day 3. And I look forward to reading all the comments in the group.